Ireland's Mental Hospitals by Hope Banker, Olivia Quillen, and Faith Small. When you think of mental hospitals, you may think of such as straitjackets, isolated rooms, and of course, completely and utterly crazy people who have completely lost their minds. During this presentation, we may change the way you wrap your mind around the concept of mental hospitals in Ireland.
A 18-year-old woman named Hannah Greeley was put into a mental hospital called St. Loman's Psychiatric Hospital, located in Mullingar, Ireland. She thought she was only going there for a rest. Hannah attempted escape and pleaded her relatives to sign her out, but she ended up staying there for 20 full years. Hannah quoted, "The patients inside, expectant, waiting for letters and visits, until finally, one day, they would find themselves rejects, outcasts, and no explanation given. Sometimes a crushed spirit breaks, in mental agony and anguish, when she understands at least she is captive in a free society." More than 20,000 patients were in the mental hospital at the time across the state. Death rates were high, more than 11,000 deaths per decade. Also at St. Loman's Psychiatric Hospital, a member of the staff got a package addressed to the medical staff. Inside the package was powder and a note that warned, "ISIS is going to get you." The package panicked the staff of the hospital, so they called the guard up to seal off the main part of the building. The Army Bomb Disposal Unit from Athlone arrived to the building at 5:30 to examine and dispose of the powder. In the end, at 8 p.m., the whole situation turned out to be a hoax.
Hospitals were a bit more harsh in the 18th century. For people placed in hospitals, the conditions were quite scary. The cells had stone floors with little or no heating or air vent, and they were exposed during winter. Dead bodies would lay for days without being removed. Patients were restrained with manacles locked on their ankles by a chain so they could be fastened to a bed, and were subjected to bizarre experiments. Also in the 18th century, there were some odd and just plain cruel treatments, like the treatment called the circulating chair. They used a contraption where the patient was placed in a chair by sitting or lying down, and then it started to rotate at high speed around 60 times a minute. Other things that happened in Ireland's 18th century mental hospitals were misdiagnosis. Misdiagnosis is when someone would be put in a mental hospital when they really didn't belong there because nothing was really wrong with them. Also, force and fear. They would make their patients think that they are mad and don't belong in the real world, along with forceful behavior. Over-drugging was a big thing too, where the staff would give the patient an overly large amount of medication. Then the patient would be drugged out of their senses. There was also harsh restraints, and that was where the straitjacket came in. They would keep their patients in isolation where they would be taken away from the others because they were even crazier. One of the worst would be cruelty. There were cases of rape, sexual molestation, rage beatings, and more.
Imagine if you were Hannah or one of the others. Would you be able to survive in that condition? Now it's your turn to choose. Are mental hospitals paradise or prison?